Today, I am restarting an old hobby I had many years ago, and I'm taking you along for the ride. Let me show you what I'm doing here. My first project is going to be these radiator holding bracket things on my Honda Accord. This is a 2013. Looks like I need two 10mm bolts, so let's grab those and get started. And hey, I'm making this video under 8 minutes, so you don't have to watch a mid-roll ad. So if you appreciate that, give the video a like. This little bushing just pops right out. You just kind of do that. I'll be reusing this on the new part. I'm just going to quickly go over some of the materials. You'll see the other materials as we go. So I have my carbon fiber fabric. I have Stretchlon 200. That's the bagging film you'll see in a bit. I have tooling gel coat because I'm making a mold for this, and we'll go over that in a bit as well. I have PVA, Pardal. PVA is going to be your best friend for a mold release agent. You can buy all kinds of chemical release agents, but I've never had good luck with them. I've always had the part stick in the mold, and I've never had a part stick in the mold while using this. So this is polypropylene. This is that stuff that, garage sale signs are made of, or like political signs are made of. And I'm attaching it with some butyl tape. Normally you would use plasticine or like clay or putty, but I have so much of this butyl tape, I'm just using that. Every single time that you go to open one of these brushes and use it, take it and rough it up and get any loose hairs in the brush that might come out. I'm going to apply a couple coats of PVA. This is Pardal PVA. It's a clear glue. It does come in green as well. If you get bubbles in your finish, just dab it with your brush. That'll pop the bubbles. When this has fully dried, next we have tooling gel coat. This is two-part. You have your resin. And you have MEKP hardener. You use very little of this to a lot of that. Totally incorporate the MEKP into your resin. And try to avoid bubbles if you can. And then we're just going to lather it on here nice and thick. The thicker this is, the longer your mold is going to last. And then you just cover the whole thing. You do want to come out here as well and get your mounting surface for your tape. So get a good heavy layer out there as well. All the way around every last inch of this. Now as this starts to cure, you'll see it gets a lot thicker. And so you have your ridges here where you couldn't get much of the gel coat on there. When this starts to firm up, that's when you can go through on your sides and build it up. And your ridges here and build it up. Just kind of dab it. Don't brush because it'll brush off the existing gel coat. So now I'm going to wait a couple of hours or until this turns tacky but solid. Then I'll add a second coat. Then we add our fiberglass. Alright, we got us coat number 2. I'm going to use quite a bit of this. So this is going to be incredibly susceptible to forming bubbles, so you want to be very careful to not form too many. Last but not least, we have chopped strand fiberglass. This comes in a big box if you so desire. And we're just going to tear it up. Put a base layer of our resin down, and then you put your fiberglass on top of that, and then you just dip your brush in your resin and start dabbing it on the fiberglass. And if you get a little bit after the edge, that's totally fine. But dabbing it is what's going to get that resin to penetrate all the way through. This batch is over. I should have done about half this much, I would say. But now we wait. And then I can demold the original part, being careful not to ruin my mold or scratch it. And I used a screwdriver very carefully. With my part removed, I can wash this out with warm water, and then I'm going to break down some of these rough edges. That way when I go to vacuum this, it doesn't interfere with anything. And it'll make taking the part out of here a lot easier too. Before I apply my mold release, I'm putting butyl tape all around the edge. This is so I don't get PVA on a sealing surface. I'm going to be very careful to not get any PVA on the butyl tape, and that's why we left the paper on it. But we are going to give it a nice, stiff, thick coat of PVA here. Next, I cut the bagging material. I cut this roughly 3 to 4 inches larger than the footprint of my butyl tape. The release ply we cut slightly smaller than the butyl tape footprint, and same thing for the batting. This batting is going to absorb all the excess resin that we put on our carbon fiber. I have a little mini jar here, and I drilled 2 holes and put some fittings in here. This is going to keep resin from getting inside my vacuum pump and ruining it. I've already done that once, so let's not do it again. I do highly recommend taping some batting on the end of your vacuum hose. This is going to prevent the bagging material from going inside the hose and potentially breaking. The first step in making a part is to put a base layer of resin down, just like we did with a mold. Then I put my first layer on top of that and very, very gently push it down. Then I put another layer of resin on top of the first layer. I'm being careful to orient the carbon fiber pattern 90 degrees from each other. This helps with strength. So if your pattern goes this way, then put your next layer this way, and just continue doing that as you go. With all 3 layers down, I add my peel ply or release ply, then my batting, and then I seal the bag up as thoroughly as I can before I turn the machine on. So once all the bagging material has been pressed down onto the butyl tape, we turn on the machine. And it's going to leak, trust me. You are not going to get it perfect immediately unless you're really lucky or really skilled. So that said, you need to go find all of your leaks, every last one of them, and fix them. If you are not in an area where it's at least 65 degrees, you can use a small space heater and a box and control the temperature of the air around your piece. Once the piece was finished, I removed the bag. Next up, I removed the batting, which was conveniently stuck to the peel ply. Then I used a screwdriver, once again very, very carefully to not break my mold, and I got the piece out. If there's excess material there, that's okay. We can trim that with a Dremel. And now it's time for the moment of truth, a test fit. I've already drilled the holes and everything. I put my little grommet in here, and boy oh boy, it looks like it works to me. Now you must be asking, how much weight does this save? Well, each stock bracket weighs around 180 grams, let's say 183 each, which means that both of them together weigh about 360 grams. Each carbon fiber bracket weighs 20 grams, so that's 40 grams total for both. This puts us at a weight savings of about 320 grams, which happens to be roughly 0.7 pounds. And no, that's not very much, but that's not the point. The point is, can I do this? Yes, I absolutely can, because if literally anyone's ever done it before, it's possible. But anyway, that's all I have, so as usual, you be good while I'm gone, and I'll see you next time. Have a good week.